everyone. I would ask if you would take your seat. Okay, we're going to get started. So first of all, I would like to welcome you all. I'm Julie Stewart, Chief Operating Officer for Prairie Meadows. On behalf of the Prairie Meadows Board of Directors, our Polk County Board of Supervisors, and our entire management teams, it's a pleasure to welcome you to our annual Community Impact Luncheon. We would like to extend our sincere thanks to the elected officials who have joined us today. We are grateful for your commitment to public service. At this time, would you please stand and be recognized? For over 3 decades, Polk County and Prairie Meadows have partnered to promote agriculture, economic development, jobs, and tourism. Our partnership has resulted in over $2.3 billion in charitable contributions and taxes to lessen the burden of government. This reflects our dedication to improving the quality of life for all Iowans. Together, Prairie Meadows and Polk County awarded 579 grants totaling $16.3 million. An impactful investment that enriches the lives, it strengthens our neighborhoods, and builds a brighter future for our communities. Every nonprofit contribution is unique, yet they share a common goal of making a positive difference. I'd like to extend a special thank you to Dr. Lynn, the Prairie Meadows Grant Committee Chair, and to all of our committee members. Your dedication to ensuring a fair evaluation process reflects the integrity and transparency of all of your efforts. So at this time, it's a pleasure to introduce to you our Prairie Meadows Board Member and Grant Committee Chair, Dr. Lynn.
Thank you for coming here today. Man, you guys like a party crowd. I like it. Can't get you guys to sit down. It really means a lot to us at Prairie Meadows that we can come here, celebrate, and honor each and every one of you and your causes. We understand that these are tough times, and we know that it can be so difficult to make ends meet. We want you to know we see your struggles, but we applaud the tenacity, conviction, and passion you have for all of your separate undertakings. I want you to know that we absolutely take each of your grants very, very seriously. While we are aware of the tremendous need in our community, we know that we can't fund every application, but I promise you that we did our best. Prairie Meadows opened in 1989 with a clear purpose, like Julie said: promote economic development, create jobs, support agriculture, strengthen tourism. But the need, as you all know, is far greater than those. We have to find a way to help with homelessness, food insecurity, health and human services, mental health, education, arts and culture. We need to help our first responders, and we have to think of ways to help our environment. We have been very, very intentional in ensuring that funding recommendations were made with impact, equity, and community benefit in mind. At this time, I would like to introduce a very, very hard-working group of people. These people make up our Grants Advisory Committee. These people basically had a second job for 6 to 8 weeks, poring over all these grants. It was an absolute privilege to work with every one of them. Each of them brought their own insights to the process, again, to ensure that we could do the best for you. First of all, we have Andrea Morse. Stand up and say hello. She was our numbers lady. She was our financial person. She was our human calculator. I'm not kidding. She had a calculator all the time. She kept us on budget. Then we have Denny Linderbaum. He took his many dozens of years of fundraising and had to adjust to actually giving away money. Then we had a group of three, the group of three from Prairie Meadows. These people have full-time jobs here at Prairie Meadows and found the time and energy to help us out with the grants committee. This is their second year. First of all, we have Matt Kiernan. Where's Matt? Is he here? There he is, way in the back, where you belong. He's a senior group sales manager for Prairie Meadows. Then we have Chantel Olson, right there. This lady works hard. She's Prairie Meadows Director of Informational Technology. Then we have Cade Johnson. Is Cade here? He's the head chef here, and he still has time to somehow make all this food and be on our grants committee. There are a couple people here that are not here that I would like to recognize. Ro Crosby. She's another awesome lady that came to us. Is she here? Oh, no, okay, forget it. It came to us through the Des Moines Partnership. She was instrumental in helping us understand a lot about the Central Iowa programs. And then Joe Nearing, he brought his knowledge of the unions to the table. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention a couple of very, very awesome ladies. Let's be honest, these two did all of the legwork, to get these grants all geared up for us even to read. We have Julie Stewart. Recently promoted to Chief Operating Officer at Prairie Meadows. Congratulations. And someone else, her administrative assistant, who does not get the recognition that she deserves, Tanya Dunn. Is she around? It's been an awesome year, guys. So let's talk numbers. We had a record-breaking number of requests this year. We thought last year 550 grant requests was crazy. Well, we topped it this year with 674, with a total ask of $47 million. We were able to fund 406 grants this year. 209 of them we fully funded. This year we were able to give out $13.5 million. This is the second highest amount ever given out by the Prairie Meadows Grant Committee. Just for comparison, 3 years ago in 22, we had only 352 grants and gave out $9 million. This boom in applications demonstrate the success and importance of this program. The need is tremendous, and we don't take that lightly. This funding goes beyond a one-time investment. It supports people. It stimulates our economy. It builds a foundation for long-term impact. What some of your causes do to give people hope, a little dignity, a little peace of mind by providing clothes, food, a place to stay, a place to learn, and a place to get a second chance is inspiring. Others of you are providing services and planning. We need to host festivals and drive all of the arts and entertainment that makes Central Iowa so vibrant. To all of you, we want you to know that we believe in you. We believe in what you represent because, honestly, you are the best of us. You are the heart of this community. Best wishes to all of you. Continue to do great things, and thank you so much for allowing Prairie Meadows to be a part of your success. Thank you. Now, it's my honor and privilege to introduce someone who needs no introduction, but of course he's still going to get one. He's had an interesting life. He's got an associate's degree at Grandview College. He got a bachelor's degree in business development at Drake. Then, of course, what did he do? Start businesses. In the early 80s, he and a group of business leaders envisioned an initiative, like Julie said, to create jobs, economic development, boost tourism, support agriculture. This vision led to the creation of Prairie Meadows Racetrack. He served on the board of directors from 1994 to 1998 before becoming the president and CEO in 2006. Under his leadership, Prairie Meadows has distributed over $2.3 billion in charitable donations and taxes. Oh my gosh, here we go. We've got to list all these awards. He and Prairie Meadows were named Iowa Character Counts Partners of the Year in 2011. And in 2012, he accepted the overall Visitor Choice of the Year award from the Greater Des Moines Convention and Visitor Bureau. 2013, he received the Newell Franklin Award from the Altoona. This is exhausting. I can't do all this. Oh my gosh. Oh, he's had leadership positions, well, basically everywhere. Greater Des Moines Partnership, Junior Achievement, Altoona Chamber of Commerce, East Polk Rotary Club, Boys and Girl Scouts, Character Count. What is this? Named Father of the Year by the American Diabetes Association. I can't even get Father of the Year from my 5 kids. We only know this. He got Father of the Year because he married Ginger, one of the sweetest ladies you ever meet in your life. He has raised 2 great daughters, and he has 100 grandkids. Oh, 6, sorry. But there's more. This guy raised funds for Grandview, totaling over $22 million, culminating in a new student center, and he helped start the Glanton Fund for Des Moines University, which provides scholarships for underrepresented minority students. I know, you're thinking he's perfect. I guarantee you, this guy is not perfect. I have watched him 4-putt from 5 feet on numerous occasions. And I heard he's not so good with technology. His buddy Tom Flynn told me that he knows how to turn on the computer, but doesn't know how to turn it off. We can go on and on about all of his achievements, because I think probably this embarrasses him more than anything, which makes me happy. So let's introduce him. Our leader, our mentor, our good friend, and our soon-to-be retiree, Mr. Gary Palmer.
he's not only a great surgeon, he's a great comedian. Thank you, Dr. Lynn, for those nice words. Thank you all for coming today to celebrate this community. We have a wonderful community and wonderful people that do wonderful things, and we have a house full of them today. So thank you for coming. In 2024, Prairie Meadows distributed a total of $51.5 million through charitable giving. The funds were allocated across several key stockholders. This impact includes $29.6 million to Polk County, $5 million to the City of Des Moines, and $900,000 to Polk County students. This year, we are proud to have provided $13.5 million through our grants program to enrich the lives of all you Iowans. We are dedicated to advancing education in Polk County and supporting other initiatives to strengthen our region. While casinos in Iowa are required to give back 3% of their net income, we have an average of 20% we give back because we're non-for-profit. Our partnership with Polk County, which began in the 1980s, has grown into a decades-long collaboration that continues to provide services, create opportunities, and enrich lives in ways that could not have been possible otherwise. We also want to acknowledge two members. Whoop, I've skipped a page here, sorry. Whoa, that's not good. Prairie Meadows is unique as a non-for-profit casino managed by a volunteer board of directors, which generously dedicate their time and expertise. When I call your name, please stand and be acknowledged. Dr. Stephen Neville, Chairman. Jeff Wagnus, Vice Chair. Bob O'Halloran, Secretary. Chris Costa, Executive Committee. Deb Leach, Executive Committee. Iowa State Senator Tony Bisignano. Tim Goodwin. Jeremy Amp. Again, Dr. Ian Lynn. Denny Linderbahn. Andrea Morris. Tiffany Tolchak. And Tom Timmons. We also want to acknowledge, it's mentioned earlier, two members that were unable to join us this afternoon would be Joe Nearing and Ro Cosby. As an entertainment business grows and evolves, so does our responsibility to our guests, our employees, and our community. Prairie Meadows' mission has always been to improve lives of Iowans. For me personally, serving as CEO and president of Prairie Meadows for more than 19 years has been a privilege and an honor. To lead an organization that has transformed Central Iowa while serving as a steward of the community is one of the greatest rewards of my career. Each day I'm reminded that our work is not about entertainment only. It is about strengthening families, building opportunities, and creating a brighter future for all Iowans. That responsibility inspires me, and it drives all of us to return as steadfast to our mission in this community. Prairie Meadows has a new leader on December 1st, 2026. When I retire, Brian O'Relko will become the next CEO, and I'd like to introduce him. Brian, stand up, and please be acknowledged. He's got so much experience that you'll enjoy him so much. He brings decades of experience to gaming and racing industry and is focused on maintaining Prairie Meadows as one of the top Iowa's gaming destinations and as a non-for-profit that supports community organizations and initiatives through charitable giving and taxes. Together with the Polk County Board of Supervisors and countless partners, we are shaping Central Iowa into a dynamic, sustainable region. The progress we've made is proof that when we all come together with a shared vision, we can truly transform our communities. Now, please join me in welcoming to the podium the Chairman of the Polk County Board of Supervisors, Matt McCoy.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you, Gary. I wanted to take a moment and thank you for your leadership and the work as you wrap up your tenure here at Prairie Meadows. We do hope that you improve your golf game as you will now have the time to work on those 4 putts. The opportunity to work with Prairie Meadows in Polk County has spanned decades. We've helped thousands of organizations who play critical roles in our community, lifting up those marginalized in our community and helping our public schools, whether that is help funding all types of things for our schools, from jerseys to band uniforms, some of which have been used for more than 20 years in our school system, funding ADA playgrounds so that every kid can just enjoy being a kid. This partnership is so much more than grants. The funds that Polk County receives from this partnership also go into major economic development projects in our community, like the Iowa Event Center, which has allowed Iowans to see their kids play state basketball at the Well, although we don't call it the Well anymore, at the Casey Center, landing big-time concerts like Taylor Swift and Paul McCartney. These funds have also allowed us to fund the Hilton Convention Center Hotel, which connects to the Iowa Event Center. All these brick and mortar initiatives have helped the entire central Iowa region, from restaurants to small businesses, creating jobs and spurring our local economy along the way. As we reflect upon the past successes, we're also looking to the future. Over the past 2 decades, Polk County has used millions of dollars from Prairie Meadows to repay the bonds on the Iowa Event Center. Next year, that bond is paid off. This retirement of the debt will then free up money for Polk County to reinvest back into the community. The board's goal moving forward is to focus less on big buildings and more on the people that we serve: children, families, seniors, and marginalized individuals in our community. This could be child care, so that families that are barely making ends meet can afford child care and get ahead. It can also include finding more ways to fund seniors so that they can stay in their homes which they've spent their entire lives building, giving them the dignity they deserve in retirement. These are some of the big problems that we will be facing as a board. There are no easy solutions, but we know the investment of these dollars in our communities in ways that really make an impact will make a huge difference in the lives of Central Iowans. As my colleagues and I look to the future, these are just a few of the ideas that we've visited about to make Polk County a better place to live. We will be focusing more as we move into our strategic planning process about the initiatives that we want to get behind as a board. I'm pleased to have Jill Altringer here with me, Supervisor Mark Holm as well, and I wanted to acknowledge them for the help they're providing in the strategic planning process. In addition, I want to acknowledge a couple team members that have been critical to the mission of Polk County and have helped with so many of our grants and helping usher individuals through the grants process at Polk County. Lisa Moody-Tunks, who's with us today. Lisa, stand up. And Kelsey Vanderfloot, who's also with us today, is joined in helping Lisa. And at this time, I'd like to welcome Jill Altringer, my colleague and Vice Chair of the Polk County Board of Supervisors, to discuss the impact on Polk County Grants Program has had on our community.
Wow. Hello, this is an impressive group. Okay. Hold, please. Everyone smile. See, I'm going to get home tonight. My kids are going to ask me how my day went and what I did, and now I can show them all your smiling faces. Yeah, exactly. Hey, I know we've been doing a lot of applauding, but this group, of all groups, knows what it takes to get an event like this pulled together. And one set of people we haven't said thank you to yet is everyone that made this happen, from the food preparers to the servers to the planners to the staff. Thank you for having this pulled together on a Friday afternoon. It is great. So I'm here to give you a little perspective of what this means to somebody who is new to the process, right? I started on the board 9 months ago and came into a busy time of the budget process and the grant cycles. And while I was familiar with the partnership with Prairie Meadows and Polk County through my 16 years on a city council, I truly didn't understand the impact that it had in the community. So I represent District 2. As I like to say, it is the largest district in Polk County. It goes from Urbandale to Sheldall to Mitchellville. It's that horseshoe up over the top. And what this grant program helps us do is be boots in the ground. We're really able to get involved with the community, the organizations, the nonprofits, our citizens, and learn what's going on both in our district as well as in the four corners of Polk County. And that's really important. That's something that we're bringing, the four corners of Polk County. So as I looked at this, I was thinking about all those great opportunities we have. You guys invite us to your galas, your festivals, your tours, your ribbon cuttings, and your meetings so that we can learn about the impact that you're making because you see that need in the community. And I look out here and I see a room filled with love and compassion because all of you saw a problem, an issue, a challenge in the community, and you banded together and you decided to find a solution. And with your passion, you're personally helping make Polk County a better place every day. So I want to give a round of applause to you who makes it happen and the reason why we're here today. This unique partnership, as I've said, has helped us fund so many items, from kids 18 to 24 that needed homes and new guidance, to backpacks, to disease, to cultural events. With that, I just say thank you. Thank you for everything that you guys have brought. Thank you to Prairie Meadows for helping us with the partnership with Polk County. I think that this is a success that other communities should look to and try to emulate. So thank you for allowing me here today. And I believe with that, we have a quick video.
Imagine what it would be like if there wasn't a partnership between Prairie Meadows and Polk County. $2.3 billion has been invested in central Iowa because of that partnership. Again, imagine what it would be like. And imagine the changes we have made in people's lives.
Since 1996, we've been able to give back to this community $2.3 billion of taxes and charitable giving to enhance and to lessen the burden of government in Polk County.
This unique partnership between Polk County and Prairie Meadows Racetrack and Casino has resulted in hundreds of millions of dollars worth of capital investment occurring in our community that otherwise would not have happened if not for this unique relationship.
Prairie Meadows recently awarded ChildServe a legacy grant, which will help us remodel and update our inpatient units on the complex care units so that children who have complex medical and respiratory conditions can receive the best quality of care.
This will be our 5th Variety Star inclusive playground. You know, you see the renderings and you actually see it come to life. I cannot wait to see the kids on it. Just seeing the joy and excitement on the kids' faces is just incredible.
We're really grateful to Prairie Meadows and to Polk County because we did see many local businesses withdraw their support that they have had for Capital City Pride over many years. And because of the support from Prairie Meadows and Polk County, we did not have to reduce or change any of our programming. That was able to make up the difference.
Wherever you are in Polk County, you can really feel the impact of our partnership with Prairie Meadows. We support communities, help local groups, we help people thrive.
Most recently, with a legacy grant from Prairie Meadows Racetrack and Casino and a significant grant from Polk County, we were able to place our early childhood character counts resource in every early childhood and kindergarten classroom in Polk County.
Thanks to the support of Polk County and Prairie Meadows, we have a 3,000 square foot indoor hydroponic farm. And with that farm, we're growing fresh greens for our meals and for area food pantries and other outlets.
I mean, these people are my friends. They're drivers, they're volunteers. I really enjoy seeing them, you know, and knowing them and having them check on me.
We've been so pleased. The feedback has been tremendous. Obviously, the veterans, our intent was to certainly celebrate their service and what they have done for our country and our community, and they've been very appreciative.
I love it. It's so much better than the grass one we had. A lot of times when it has like rained on our softball field, we've come out and used the turf. It's really nice to have that option.
For me, what Center 6 really is it's a Swiss Army knife for entrepreneurs. It allows entrepreneurs to come in, launch their business without necessarily going bankrupt or offsetting their family or offsetting their trajectory. And with that support, and we studied it, we've worked at it, we're confident in the delivery of that, being able to provide for these businesses and put them in a position to win and succeed.
We think that we have the best private-public partnership in the world. What we created here in Polk County is unmatched. Through the nation, through the world, we're working to improve this community the best we can, and it's worked for 36 years.
That was awesome. You should all be very proud. Okay, now it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker. Our speaker today grew up right here in Iowa, and he knows what it means to beat impossible odds. In 2010, Chris Norton faced a 3% chance of ever moving below the neck after a football injury. He's since inspired over 400 million people worldwide and founded the Chris Norton Foundation, supported by Prairie Meadows and Polk County. His story proves that our greatest challenges can be our most powerful opportunities to impact others. Please watch this brief video before Chris takes the stage.
In high school and 16 in college, was given a 3% chance of ever moving again.
I'm not going to be part of the 97% that doesn't recover from this. I had to relearn how to move different parts of my body. To be standing was like a sense of freedom. And when I met Emily, everything changed.
Chris came up with the idea of wanting to walk to get his diploma. We had no idea how he was gonna walk across the stage. He was working 4 or 5 hours every single day, sometimes even more.
I went into that graduation walk knowing I busted myself for years.
Christopher Norton.
And if you can do a little bit more, a little extra on everything that you do, what you're supposed to do, that's when you can make the most significant impact and the biggest difference. I want to be able to walk Emily down the aisle of our wedding, and we're gonna go 7 yards. And I wanna walk with her side by side. I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Yes. Oh, there we go. Awesome. You know, I was going to say, like, I'm tired of people. They're always pushing me around, talking behind my back. If I had to guess, I think everyone in this room has probably had a moment, an experience that drew you to the work that you do now. It's what makes us so passionate about our causes, whether it's helping families, rescuing animals, strengthening communities, or any ways that we serve. And that's exactly why Prairie Meadows and Polk County has invested in all of us. They recognize that passion born from experience creates the most powerful change. And I'll never forget the moment that drew me to my work on October 16, 2010. It's game day at Luther College in Decorah, Iowa, the 6th game of my freshman season. And you could not ask for a better fall day to play football. It's the third quarter, and we're getting our butts kicked, but we're mounting a little bit of a comeback. We had just scored a touchdown, cutting it to a 2-score game. I run out to the field for the kickoff. At 18 years old, I felt like I was on top of the world. Here's a photo of me when I arrived on campus. And as you can see, I'm not smiling because I don't know, that's just what you do in football photos. I grew up though, like right here in Altoona. I went to Bonnarant Farrar for high school. My mom, she's lived here her entire life. Fun fact, her brother, my uncle, is Gary Palmer, the CEO of Prairie Meadows. Well, coming into school, I already had my life all planned out. Just like my Uncle Gary, my dream was to be the CEO of this casino after he retired. I'm just playing. That would be sweet though, am I right? Guess it's not too late, right? No. I'm just kidding, Brian, I'm just kidding, wherever you're sitting. The real plan, become an All-American football player, marry the girl of my dreams, and then buy a lake house. Or better yet, the girl of my dreams' parents would already own a lake house. Okay, back to the game. The ball is kicked. I sprint downfield as hard as I can go. And I see this opening forming. My instincts are telling me that the ball carrier, he's going to try to run through that gap, but I'm going to stop him. I'm going to drive my shoulder so hard through his legs, he's going to fumble the ball. And that's why they put lunatics like me on the kickoff. We're not afraid of contact. Well, like a torpedo, I crash into his legs, but I mistimed my tackle. Instead of hitting him with my shoulder, like I have done thousands of times before, I accidentally hit him head on. The next thing I know, I am face down on the ground, and I can't get up. I start to panic. Not because I think I'm seriously injured, but because I don't want the game to stop for me. That's embarrassing for a wannabe tough guy. But no matter how hard I try, I can't move a thing. It feels like someone had flipped the power off to my body. The paramedics quickly get involved, and they call in for a helicopter. The flight takes about 20 minutes, but as you can imagine, those are some of the longest minutes of my life. At the hospital, they rushed me through a series of checks, scans, x-rays to prepare me for emergency surgery. Here's the x-ray that was taken that day. You don't have to be a radiologist to see the break in my neck, causing a severe spinal cord injury. Before I know it, I'm under the bright lights of the operating room. I hear the door open, the surgeon walks into view, and he asks, "Do you have any questions?" I fight back the tears and I ask him, "Will I walk again?" He shrugs his shoulders and says, "I don't know." And I'm no longer able to fight back the tears. The uncertainty is the final blow. All I want to do is wake up from this horrific nightmare to find out it's just a really bad dream. In our life, at some point or another, we all get hit with adversity. It may not be a spinal cord injury, but pain takes many forms. Like watching someone you're trying to help take a step backwards. Or realizing that despite your best efforts, you can't reach everyone who needs your services. On a more personal level, receiving a diagnosis you never saw coming. A relationship that feels beyond repair. Change is inevitable. Challenges are guaranteed. But growth, it's a choice. The individuals and organizations that thrive, they're able to grow stronger through change. You see, my spinal cord injury, it didn't ruin my life. It reinvented it. It led to opportunities to serve others that previously were inconceivable. Like early this year, I had a chance to share my story on stage for nearly 40,000 people. So no, I'm not making tackles for my football team anymore, but I am able to impact lives. I discovered a strength that you can't get from muscles, only from adversity. And every person or cause that we serve, they bring their own challenges. We're someone's lifeline, their path to housing, education, healing, or hope. And we carry that responsibility not because it's easy, but because what we do matters. So when change comes, we can't avoid it. We must grow through it. Because change can be our greatest teacher and source of innovation if we allow it. And my hope is that the 4 lessons that I'm going to share with you that have helped me grow stronger through change will equip you and the people you love and serve to discover life's lowest moments can be the source of our greatest strength. But first, let me take you back into my story. I wake up after surgery. I'm blurry-eyed, groggy, and complete disbelief I have tubes and monitors surrounding me. The monitors, they're beeping. My parents, they're camped out next to me. And despite not being able to lift a finger, I'm hopeful. And that is until the surgeon walks in. And I hang on to his every word, and one of the first things he says is not at all what I was expecting. Chris, you have about a 3% chance of ever moving below your neck. That's not a 3% chance to walk, but a 3% chance to feel someone's touch, to scratch an itch on my face, to feed myself. And it's all so surreal, I could hardly process it. Yesterday at this time, I was walking. I was suiting up for my college football game, and now I'm lying in the hospital, paralyzed from the neck down, with a 3% chance to ever feel or move again? As the surgeon's gut-wrenching words sink in, I feel this rush of defiance. How does he know what my life will be like? This is not going to be my outcome, because I will do whatever it takes each and every day to be a member of that 3%. Maybe you're sitting there today facing your own version of a 3% chance. It could be an obstacle that looks impossible to overcome, a mistake that feels like you can't come back from. Well, deep down in the hospital, I knew statistics and opinions, they don't determine your future. Your response does. If you don't like where you are, you have the power to do something about it. So I get going to work. I do the only thing I could do, which was to nod my head yes and no. So I shook and nodded my head for hours. You should have seen me. I looked like a giant bobblehead, just kind of bouncing my head all around. Eventually, I'm able to shrug my left shoulder, beating the 3% odds. Well, during that first week, I only get 1 hour of therapy a day. But as soon as I transferred from the ICU down the rehab floor, I was able to get 3 hours. Well, after a couple days, I realized 3 hours is not enough to get my life back. I need a 4th hour. I asked the hospital for a 4th, and they said no. I asked, well, why not? They said, well, insurance typically cuts off at 3 hours. Well, I was on the mission, and eventually, I got that 4th hour. But a couple more days go by, and I realized 4 hours is not enough. I need a 5th hour. I asked for the 5th. They say no again. This time, they meant it. I actually never got it. Yeah. I tried. I really did. Instead, I had my PTs and OTs. They wrote up workouts that I can do on my own outside of my scheduled therapy time. My motto, if I'm not sleeping, I'm working. And the reality was, I had to set my own standards. There was no walking again playbook. And the same could be said with life. We can't wait for perfect direction. We must take ownership to pave our own path forward. While I was really easily distracted during the day with my workouts, nighttime was different. When it's dark and quiet, that's when doubt wages war. And during the 4th night, I'm in the ICU. It's around midnight. I'm wide awake when a nurse walks in. Instead of checking my vitals, she comes to my bedside. She leans in close and says, "Chris, look me in the eyes." And she was kind of mean about it. But I looked her in the eyes, and she's this slender woman, glasses, reddish gray hair, probably in her 60s, and she's got this voice that sounded like she walked straight out of a Western movie. She says, "My name is Georgia. I'm from Wyoming. Do you know anyone from Wyoming?" I say no, and I'm thinking, okay, like, where is this going? Well, she keeps talking, and she says, "Well, people from Wyoming don't tell lies. And I'm here to tell you, you will beat this. You will beat this." I instantly started crying. I needed to hear those words so badly. Her belief ignited mine. The next day, when I start my PT, I can hear her words cheer me on like a battle cry. You will beat this, and day after day, I get stronger. Well, fast forward, though, 5 weeks. I'm still in the hospital, and despite endless therapy and prayer, my legs remain still. But I'm still hopeful. But then that morning, I wake up, and my left big toe feels the coolness of the air, like a Novocaine shot was wearing off. And I'm ecstatic. Well, my doctor, he comes in, I'm sharing the great news, and I ask him, can you take a look at my toe? He refuses. Chris, you're experiencing a phantom feeling. It's quite common with spinal cord injuries, but it's not progress. I disagree, and I insist, this is not a phantom feeling. There is something happening. He shakes his head. Chris, you will never move anything in your legs ever again. Turns and walks out like it was no big deal. In under 2 minutes, this man had ripped apart everything I've been working day and night to achieve. And I'm sitting there with my dad, tears just streaming down my face, devastated. But then I remember Georgia's words. You will beat this. In that moment, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go prove that doctor wrong. And not even a week later, on Thanksgiving morning, with my family by my side, I wiggle that exact left big toe that the buzzkill doctor said I'd never move again. I was pretty fired up. I was so pumped that I was telling all my nurses and therapists, you go find that doctor, who I like to call Dr. Phantom. Bring Dr. Phantom in here so I can tell him to phantom this. As I wiggle my toe in his face. Fortunately, though, for him, he was gone that day, which worked out for the best. I was way too fired up. The toe wiggle, though, it became so much more. I gradually gained strength in my quads, hamstrings, even able to stand with assistance. You will beat this. Georgia's 4 little words were my inspiration, fueling me towards the goal. But do you think Georgia realizes the impact her words had on me? Doubt it. Rarely do we ever find out if what we say makes a difference. Clearly it does. Our words can lift someone up or tear them down. And I share this story with you today to recognize we all have the power to be someone's Georgia. Sometimes we hold ourselves back because we doubt our words will make a difference. Well, can I tell you, I'm actually grateful I can no longer pretend like everything's okay. Because something beautiful happens when you can't hide your struggles. People show up differently. People are much more kind to me now than they ever were before my injury. Yet the physical challenges you all can see, the challenges you can't see are just as painful. And if it's true for me, I know it's true for you. I know there's people in this room who are fighting battles we know nothing about. Some of us are very good at acting like everything's okay, yet the unseen pain could be grief, fighting cancer, depression, or just the agony of watching someone you love struggle through life. Without the visible signs, it's difficult to see who needs a Georgia in their life. So with this in mind, isn't it important to be kind to everyone? And after all, being kind is a choice that we get to make regardless of the circumstances. So if we're going to go stronger through change together, be like Georgia. Because what we say and how we say it matters. Your belief in someone might become a story they tell years from now. You may never hear it, but they'll never forget it. After a decade of feeling grateful for Georgia, I tracked down her number and I called her. During our conversation, I thanked her from the bottom of my heart for telling me, "You will beat this." Then there was a pause. She goes, "Well, actually, what I said was, you will get better." What? I lived my whole life by that line. And at first, I was embarrassed. I'm thinking about all the times I had misquoted her in my speeches, books, and movie. Hey, Georgia, can we keep this conversation between us? Nobody needs to know. But after some time, I realized something. What was impactful wasn't her exact words. It was that in my darkest hour, she shared her unwavering belief with me, giving me the spark that I needed to keep going. And make no mistake about it, I heard exactly what I was supposed to hear. As my hospital discharge was approaching, reality hit. I'm set on going back to college, but I'm going to be completely dependent on others. Every morning, I'm going to need help getting out of bed, getting dressed, going to class. The thought of asking for that much help was terrifying. But then my older sister, Alex, steps in. She moves to a nearby apartment to help with this huge transition so that I could live on campus with my roommates. And so once the semester starts, my roommates, who were also my football teammates, they stepped up as well. So they began to drive me to my PT, OT appointments, get me in a bed, get food at the cafeteria. On the weekends, when we wanted to go out, they'd all come in my room to help me get ready. They were kind of like my NASCAR pit crew. So one guy would be on changing the outfit, somebody else doing the hair with gel, spraying cologne. They would even pop zits on my face. In other words, I had the lousiest grooming team in the world, but it took an entire team to help me be successful at school. I could have never done it alone. It turns out most people have a lot of compassion inside. It just takes asking for help to unlock it. Well, during that first year, I felt like I needed something more than my studies to work towards. And I was daydreaming about the possibility when it hit me. Well, what if I walked across the stage to receive my diploma? Seemed like a realistic goal because I had 4 years to get ready, but I had a long way to go. And to give you an idea of how crazy of a goal this was, here's a little glimpse at my walking back then. As you can see, I have a harness system on that was off-weighting me. I have leg braces, 2 therapists, one that would pull my legs through. But this did not stop me from boldly telling people what I plan to achieve. And sometimes we have to set goals that we don't know how to reach. Well, for the next few years with a full class load, I would train nearly every day, multiple times a day. I'd work with different PTs, OTs, athletic trainers, my friends, my sister. Pretty much, if you had a pulse in working arms and legs, I would ask you for some PT help. It was a lot, but I found is when you take on more than what you think you can handle is when you realize your potential. It was my junior year, though, when everything changed, when Emily walked into my life. I fell in love hard and fast, and I already know what you're thinking, and let's just address the elephant in the room. Yes, she's out of my league. I outkicked my coverage. but she hasn't figured it out yet. So we're not going to tell her. Well, after a year of dating, we began walking together as well. In fact, I walked better with Emily than any of the therapists I've ever worked with. I knew Emily had to be the one who would help me get across that stage. Well, as if there wasn't enough going on graduation weekend, I had the brilliant idea to propose to her the day before graduation. And I was 10 times more nervous asking her to marry me than potentially tripping and falling in front of thousands of people. Thankfully, she said yes. Otherwise, that next day would have been awkward. But it all worked out. And after 4 years of perseverance, graduation day finally arrived. Thank you. Did you notice the woman in blue that was crying? That's my mom. She cries a lot. She's probably crying right now. But the only reason I was able to go back to college, walk the graduation stage, and be here with you today was because I learned to get over my fear of asking for help from others. In this life, no one achieves remarkable things on their own. So don't try to do everything by yourself. Ask for help when you need it. And asking for help, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. And while we fear looking incompetent or burdensome, reaching out actually shows strength, builds trust, and fast tracks our goals. But for years, I felt like I was only receiving help and not giving anything back in return. Yet in spite of this, I noticed how my relationships were deepened instead of becoming depleted. And I didn't quite understand why until a number of years ago. It was the night before one of my best friend's weddings. I'm surrounded by all my old roommates when guilt spills out. And I said, I don't know how I'm ever going to repay you or give you anything close to what you've given me. And if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't have had such a wonderful college experience. Emily and I, we would have never met. Well, one of the guys chimed in, said, Chris, it was exactly because you needed us that made our college experience more fulfilling than we could have ever imagined. So we need to thank you because honestly, you've given us more than you'll ever know. I was speechless. That's when I understood asking for help isn't taking from others when you graciously receive it. It's giving to them. We all want to feel like we matter, but sometimes our fear of looking weak can rob others of that gift. So the most courageous decision you can make during times of adversity isn't facing obstacles alone. It's asking for and graciously receiving help. The strongest teams and individuals, they're not those with the fewest challenges. They're those where challenges are met with collective intelligence and mutual support. They're teams where nobody has to pretend to have all the answers. because they understand the power of simply asking, can you help me with this? And just as I need physical support, we all need support sometimes, whether it's with a complex problem or something personal. In my experience working with servant-minded individuals, sometimes those who love to help are the same ones who have the hardest times asking for it. So, what have you needed help with but haven't asked for? Today's the day to ask. After graduation, the following day, Emily and I discovered that the video of our graduation walk went viral. To date, it's been viewed over 300 million times across social media. We get to go on some of the largest talk shows in the country, like Good Morning America. Messages poured in from people all around the world sharing how this walk has given them the courage to overcome their own challenges. These messages, they touched my heart so deeply, it made everything I've gone through worth it. I had found a purpose to give people hope. Suffering is always easier to bear when we discover purpose in it. This sparked my next goal. I'm going to walk Emily 7 yards down the aisle of her wedding. 7 yards, marking the 7 years since my injury. But this time, instead of her walking in front of me, we decided we're going to walk side by side, the same way we spend the rest of our lives together. And as beautiful as that sounds, there was just one tiny problem. I vastly underestimated how difficult side-by-side walking would be. 6 months before our wedding day, we attempt our side-by-side walk. Emily moves to my side. I try taking a step. Nothing. No matter how hard I try, without support in front, I can't move an inch. In this moment, it feels like everything I've worked for was just lost. All the progress and hope, gone. And I started thinking, well, maybe this dream is too big. Maybe I should just give up. But then Emily reminds me of something powerful. There are people watching my example, finding hope in my story. And honestly, that's all I needed to hear. Because sometimes when we feel like quitting, we just need to be reminded of why we started. Then when Emily felt like I needed even more motivation, she would remind me that People magazine would be at our wedding. And if People magazine wasn't enough, she would remind me of the film production company that was making a documentary on my life story. They would be there to record the final scene, the wedding walk. And oh, by the way, they had already named the movie 7 Yards. There is no wiggle room in that title. I can't walk 5 or 6.5. It's got to be 7. But I kept on going because this moment was bigger than me. Well, after thousands of hours of training, our wedding day finally arrived. Spoiler alert, we crushed those 7 yards. Oh, thank you. In fact, I think we could have doubled it. I think we could have gone 14. And if you want to watch the walk, you're just going to have to get the film. But I often wondered, how did an incredible woman like Emily pick a guy like me? Then it hit me. She's in it for the parking. In all seriousness, I wouldn't have done the wedding walk if Emily hadn't helped connect me to a purpose that was greater than myself. When my spirits were in the dumps, which in the beginning was far more than I cared to admit, to get me out of that funk, she'd ask, well, who's counting on you? And this question is my third lesson, because there will be times in life when you feel like you can't keep going. And it's precisely at these moments when we need something more than willpower. And during my wedding walk preparation, this simple question instantly transformed my entire relationship with my walking training. I wasn't just straining my muscles to improve my mobility. I was strengthening my body to strengthen someone else's resolve. I was pushing through pain to help someone else push through those challenges. And that recognition, it fueled me through countless moments when giving up seemed like a rational option. When you can connect to the people who are counting on you on your daily work, that's when everything shifts. And nothing generates more sustainable energy than knowing your persistence matters deeply to someone else. So, who's truly counting on you? And how might that awareness transform not just what you do, but why you do it? If my 18-year-old self, the one that was lying in the hospital bed, could see my physical strength today, he'd be disappointed because this wasn't his goal. Teenage me thought by choosing the surgeon's 3% chance, he'd get his old life back. And if he couldn't come close, then there wouldn't be a point in trying. Then, if I told that kid I wouldn't go back to change my injury, he'd slap me. If he could have, he had no strength. So. But here's what he never could see. The foundation of my life today wasn't built on recovering what I lost. It was built on sharing what I've gained. And this became clear every single time I did what scared me. In college, my worst grade, my public speaking class. Great career choice, I know. But the more I spoke, the more I knew I want to impact as many people as I can as a keynote speaker and as a high performance coach. So I chose to put in the time. I dared to suck, and I did. And after 14 years of grinding, I'm what someone on the internet might call an overnight success. At age 20, I started the Chris Norton Foundation. Even though I had zero experience working on a foundation or leading a foundation, I was determined to figure it out. We wanted to improve the quality of life for those with disabilities. Well, with a lot of support, we've been able to help over 1,000 individuals with grants to our incredible local partners. Some that are in the room today. To name a few, we have like Mercy Foundation, Unity Point, On With Life, Child Serve, and others that are strengthening the rehab opportunities right here in Des Moines. Having the right piece of equipment can make all the difference in your recovery. Since my injury in 2010, it's been incredible to witness how the rehab landscape of Polk County has vastly improved. And while our grants, they focus on rehabilitation and health, we also run a family wheelchair camp that's all about community and belonging. It's completely free for the entire family, thanks to our generous supporters like Prairie, Meadows, and Polk County. But we'll hear from families that this is their first ever family vacation. Any spare funds goes towards medical expenses. And at camp, we do a lot of fun things like zip lining, horseback riding, there's a talent show, and a glow and roll dance party. We feel like we've created something pretty special. You might come in feeling lonely because you're the only person or family in your community with a disability. But you leave knowing you are not alone. Arguably, though, the biggest stretch for me, becoming a dad to 5 kids. In 2019, Emily and I adopted 4 biological sisters. And then a few years later, we welcomed our son, KJ. The age spread is 16 all the way down to 7. And we have fostered a total of 23 kids. Thank you. Let's just say our home is beautifully chaotic. We live in South Florida now, which might sound great, but the handicap parking is very competitive. It's like NASCAR with handicap placards down there. But as I have been able to move forward with my life, with the speaking, foundation, and family, this fourth and final lesson has become clear. Your life is as rich as the lives you enrich. We're all in the life-enriching business. So when the work gets hard, and it will, remember the impact you make can last a lifetime. And that's what makes growing through change worth it. So after hearing my story and seeing my family, people often ask me, well, how do you do it all? Well, none of this would have been possible, from the walks to the kids, if it weren't for my willingness to grow stronger through change. While I'll never have the solution to every problem, I can confidently tell you that whatever comes my way will not break me, but strengthen me. And here's the best part. The same is true for you. It all starts with those moments when we decide we're going to be someone's Georgia. We're going to use the power of our words to lift someone up, because you never know what someone else is going through. Ask for help when you need it. Then when someone gives you that help, graciously receive it. Remember all the people who are counting on you, because ultimately, life is as rich as the lives you enrich. And I'd like to deliver my closing lines just a little bit differently. And like so many other moments in my life, I'm going to need to borrow someone's strength to do it. Cam, would you lend me a hand, please? While I'm proud of how far I've come, I'm not standing here to say, look at what I did. I'm standing here to say, imagine what you're capable of. Even when the odds say no, even when it feels slow, even when it doesn't look like it used to, because real strength, the kind that lasts, doesn't come from going around the hard stuff. It comes from going through it. And that's how we grow stronger through change. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you, Chris, for sharing your story. Find strength through change. We are grateful for your inspiring words. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
We're just ready to wrap it up. I have a couple housekeeping things. So one person at each table has a star sticker on the back of your program, and you get to take the beautiful centerpiece home. The other thing I just wanted to say is I just want to give my sincere thanks to the Prairie Meadows Board of Directors and the Polk County Board of Supervisors. And I just want to take a special time to, there are some people in this room that put this event together, so I think it's important to thank them. So Meredith Rohrwerk, Kelsey Kaufman, Tanya Dunn, Lisa Moody-Tunks, Kelsey Vanderflute, Taylor Van de Kroll, and John K. John Cahill. Thank you very much, and thank you all for coming.